So, I'm going to talk about a few DVDs. I could have done that this morning, but I didn't. I'm going to take this first. Lost a little bit of my pepper there. Not too much. It's just yellow bell peppers, turmeric, and the black pepper I just took. And limes. What else did I stick in there? Ginger. The usual.
So you're asking who comes from the Isle of Man? One of the three Bee Gees was born there. Maybe the others were as well. So now we know who to blame.
No, I wasn't asking that.
Oh, okay.
I said I'd never heard of anybody saying that they were going to go vacation there.
Okay. Anyway, I've run across one person whose ancestors come from the Isle of Man.
And
The
I
Isle of
figured
Man?
we should go vacation
Did I say
there.
Isle of Man? Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody ever does, and I bet it's pretty.
Yeah, it could be. Okay.
Anyway, and that's more of my white Christmas tea.
Yeah, wow, this is a late Christmas, I gotta say.
Yeah.
There was a lot of snow last night. It's kind of melted, but what is it? It's
There's still quite a bit of
it's
it.
4 months plus after Christmas, 4.5 months. Am I making it up?
I could sing one of the songs off of White Christmas, the show. It's one of my favorite musicals. I love watching it. I could watch it any time of year, but it's delightful in Christmas season.
Really?
I don't have a very good voice anymore, so maybe I shouldn't. But I could sing this for my sister.
Which
I've
one is it?
Before.
It's not.
Sisters,
Oh yeah.
sisters, there were never such devoted sisters. Many men have tried to split them up, but no one can. Lord help the mister who comes between me and my sister, and Lord help the sister who comes between me and my man.
Pretty darn good, I gotta say. It's a lot better than what I do. So, yeah.
Oh, my voice just keeps getting weaker and weaker as I age.
Well, at least you're hitting the notes, so that's the
Almost.
important thing.
Anyway, I'm going to talk about these now. James fortunately slept through this one. It was terrible.
Good. I can't even.
Blood Brother.
You know,
So
I
bad.
slept through it so well.
bad.
I can't register anything about that. Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So when Pauline says I slept through it, she is not exaggerating. Totally
No,
slept through it.
I think he fell asleep right away.
I don't
It
even
was lucky for
recognize.
him. I wanted to turn it off, but
It must have been when the credits were
Just let
rolling at the
things run.
beginning or whatever they have, because I don't recognize any of these characters. I don't recognize the scenes that are on the back here. That's impressive. So
0 point to that movie. So, this one is HAL. And this is about the guy who it's Hal Ashby, who you'll recognize. Well, I hadn't remembered what Harold and Maude was until I saw the clips, and then I was like, oh, I remember that movie. But you'll recognize lots of those. My favorite is Being There. And you know,
Yeah.
it's my favorite Peter Sellers movie, Being There.
yeah.
And I guess I can leave it set up there for you to just see, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen The Last Detail. I've seen Shampoo.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Coming Home. That's the one with Jane Fonda in it, right? Anyway,
Jane?
I've seen Being There a couple of times.
Yeah,
actually.
you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
But
right.
it's supposed to be a big, famous one.
Yeah.
Who else was in it? John Voight, maybe?
I don't know.
That's Angelina Jolie's dad. So,
Okay.
but I could be wrong over there.
Anyway, what I wanted to say about that is it's well worth watching, because just for the clips, like, I love being there so much. I actually started getting tears well up just watching the clip at the end. It's just so beautiful even to think about it. And you know, a lot of the time artists, good artists who really feel their work, who really put a lot into it, they don't even realize what they're doing a lot of the time. And I wonder if he was one of those kinds of people who just, you know, he really felt, you can see he really felt strongly about filmmaking, and I think he felt his way through it. And so I think that's why he was so frustrated with corporate media putting their thumb down on him so hard in the 80s, is he just couldn't handle that, because they were really, he had an artistic message to get across. I don't know if he even knew what those messages were necessarily, but he knew that he felt strongly that they had to be done a certain way. And you know what? Artists know when they're working on their project and it's very important to them. It's probably best to trust them. I mean, especially if they've pulled off things like being there. Just let them do their thing that they're very good at.
Because that was a seller too, wasn't it?
And it was incredible.
It made money.
And
right?
Yeah, well, I'm sure it must have.
Yeah, of course. So the deal is, it's the justification these dudes would use for messing around with people.
It would be money,
it's our money, and we don't want to lose any, and stuff like that.
But what I was going to say is, a lot of, like, I think at one point they were talking about being there and the ending, and he was saying, well, you know, you can, this is how, like, he was talking about the ending and how people wouldn't like it. They wouldn't like the ending. Without the ending, it's not an important movie. You need that ending. And I don't know if he realized what he was saying by making that ending, but it's one that, I mean, you watch it all the way through, and then you get to that and you're like, wow, I have a problem, because you're thinking something about the character, the same thing that a lot of other people are thinking, that he's just, you know, some fool that stumbled through, and you know, what a joke that these guys think that he's somebody special. These wealthy people, these whoever's, you know, these politicians, whoever, they all think that he's somebody fancy, and the public is being moved by him, and he's a gardener, you know, and that watches TV. He doesn't. Anyway, and then you get to the ending and you go, I guess I better watch it again, you know, because obviously you miss the point. Everybody that he contacts in there, he helps them. And he gives them exactly what they need without, in a way that they give it to themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? So his support is exactly what's needed to help the people that he encounters. And anyway, if you don't get that the ending means everything, watch it again and again until you figure it out. It's one of the most important movies ever made, and it's definitely worth watching. So, I'm going to talk about, this is the last of the cancer, the Ty Bollinger stuff. I'm going to just start over the camera.